He was a Shinra guy. He was basically the three-eyed soldier guy. So
Yeah, that I remember.
yeah, okay. So for that one, right? Basically, while Sephiroth was learning his origins, he slowly became insane because he found out that he's not even a real person, and then this all because of that, and because his mental health was deteriorating, right? Genova, the alien thing, basically kept it basically like awakened itself and started telling him to do something like which is the plot of the whole game, the summon meteor, destroy the world kind of thing so he can gain power, etc, etc. Now the whole reason why Cloud thinks he's soldier, right, was because when Sephiroth destroyed Nibelheim, the Tifa and Cloud's home, basically everyone got injured. Tifa got injured, but she got thrown off. Cloud, he remembered that promise from Tifa that I will save you when you need to. So Cloud picked up. Zack and Sephiroth at the point was fighting all the time. Was ready mid-fight. Cloud found Tifa, but Tifa didn't know that was Cloud because he was wearing the stupid helmet. So Cloud was like, I'm gonna save you. He rushed past Tifa, went to the aftermath of the battle between Zack and Sephiroth. Zack lost.
Got caught in the crossfire.
Didn't get caught in the crossfire. He picked up Zack's sword and stabbed Sephiroth with it. And Sephiroth was like, "What you doing, man?" And then he just stabbed Cloud. So Cloud didn't technically die.
He was dying.
He was dying, no? He was injured lah. So when Shinra found out that the Mako reactor in Nibelheim was down, they sent soldiers there lah. And then Professor Hojo found the two soldiers lah. They found Zack, they found Cloud. Both of them dying. But then since they were at that point of time, because the whole place exploded, right, they were listed killed in action or missing in action lah. So Professor Hojo is like, well, they're technically dead, so I'll start my human experimentations on them. And he did. So
Wait,
Hojo,
he started human experimentation on who? Cloud?
both of them, Zack and Cloud. Basically, okay, all soldiers have like a watered down version of Genova cells. That's how they are like a super soldier lah. That's how they.
Yeah, that one I remember.
That's how they're enhanced. So what Hojo wanted to do, right, was see if he could further enhance a soldier already.
By inputting even more cells.
By putting even more lah. But past experiments have shown, it's all in the research notes lah. Past experiments have shown that when he did that, they just became a monster, and they have to be put down. So Hojo was trying to find like the line between becoming a proper monster that looks like you need to kill it somewhere, but they can still maintain
their entities are the monsters,
yeah.
basically.
They want to make it so they retain their human form but have their monster attributes. And he couldn't like find the line between that, and that was what Cloud and Zack became. Zack was already enhanced, so he was trying to find the line between how much can he enhance Zack. So Zack technically got stronger lah, but he also got a little bit weaker lah. And then whatever happened to Zack, all the cells, right, he just all the cells that Zack had, that Hojo studied, he just put that same amount in Cloud. So Cloud unintentionally became enhanced as a first class soldier. So in terms of like their base stats, right, their strength, their agility, their speed is the same.
But he doesn't have the experience of a first class soldier, the training.
There's a reason why he has the experience. Because of how the Genova cells work, right, they work by basically because Genova cells, they are strong because they remember their ancestors' power. In this case, Sephiroth is tapping into the cells so that he can tap into Genova's power. So it's like going inside himself to get the power for the past. So when Zack's cells were transferred to Cloud, quote, like remembered how to do the moves that Zack does. That's why their fighting style is basically the same. But then it's all memories, so you can't do much. So 5 years later, after Nibelheim exploded again, I don't know why, I forgot why. Zack escaped. Zack found Cloud. Then Zack started dragging Cloud back to Midgar. That one you remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zack escaped.
But he didn't make it because he got ambushed by Shinra.
Okay, no, that one is way end. So Zack dragged Cloud from Nibelheim all the way to Midgard, right? So there's a lot of stuff that happened in between. They went from town to town. They met Turks. They actually met quite a few Turks because Zack actually has a good relationship with the Turks. They met Turks, yeah. Zack met Turks. They went through town. They supplied. Then, by the time they got to maybe the last town before Midgard, right? That whole time, every time Zack had to fight, Cloud was basically in a comatose state. Cannot do anything. He's just eye open, like not processing anything. But he's subconsciously aware of it. So like imagine, there's a fight about to happen. So Cloud, Zack is carrying Cloud. Zack puts Cloud to the side. Hey, you stay here, buddy. I'll take care of this. And then Zack starts fighting, but Cloud is like some Sharingan weirdo. Then he just looks at Zack fighting, and then he like absorbs it through him looking lah. So and that repeats all the way to Midgard. So Cloud learns how to fight by watching Zack throughout the whole time when he was semi-conscious. And then while he's watching it, his body, because it's infused with Zack cells, Jenova cells, all the whatever cells to enhance him, right? He just remembers how to do it.
Having an ancestry kind of thing.
What?
Right? Like because these cells have a, how to say?
They can like
descendant level kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. It's like Assassin's Creed if you can get the parallels.
Yeah.
Like genetic memory
The
kind of thing.
bleeding effect.
Like bleeding effect, genetic. So it just remembers how to do it, but it doesn't know how to do it. But then because he's actually watching the person doing it, he's also like, oh, so that's how I do that move. And maybe I can do it, but I can't do it yet. So he doesn't know that he can do it until he does it lah. So fast forward to the last town before Midgard, right? Zack was warned by at that point in time. Zack and Cloud couldn't talk anyhow, so it was basically just Zack talking about soldier lah. I mean, if you don't want to go crazy, you just talk to someone, right?
Yep.
So Zack kept talking about his time in soldier, what he did as soldier, what he fought, basically just narrate his whole soldier life to Cloud while he was comatose lah. Even if Cloud couldn't like talk back, he was listening lah. And then he absorbed most of it. So subconsciously he remembers everything, but he doesn't know it. So at that point of time, while he was talking, like Zack was like, you know what? I can't join Shrine now. Maybe I'll be a mercenary. That sounds like a good thing. I can earn money. I can go anywhere I want. And then that stuck lah. So their whole point of going back to Midgard was, for one, Zack wanted to see Aerith again, because it's his love, what? Two, that's still a good place to set up shop because there's a lot of business over there. So before they got to the last place, right, the Turks basically came to Zack in secret and told him, hey Zack, even Sung at that point of time became the director of the Turks also. So it's like, hey Zack, you shouldn't go this path, because the Shinra army is after you. And then Zack is like, the Shinra army has been after me since we escaped. What's the difference here? They said, the Turks basically told Zack, it's not just the Shinra army, they are calling a whole fucking battalion to go after you. I was like, and then Zack is like, well, being a soldier is hard, but I'm not gonna hide away. Like he has that whole honor thing lah. Like he's not gonna hide away like a sneaky person. He wants to face it. He wants to keep moving forward. So when he got to that point where that cliff, right, and then he realized that shit, really cannot. So he got Zack. He got Cloud. Hit him somewhere. But at that point of time, Cloud basically already like eye power. He learned everything that Zack could do. So Zack was like, the price of freedom is steep, and then starts fighting the Shinra army lah. In the original game, Zack died after beating everyone. That was like one of the most badass moments, because he's a literal one-man army. He beat the army with just a sword and some material. After he beat the army, he was basically fighting for like, I think, a full day, because he put Cloud down in the morning, and then when Cloud came back,
fight was over, it's already night time.
Yeah, it was already night time. So by the time everyone was dead, right, Zack was basically pretty much injured with his sword on his side and he's bleeding through all his wounds. Around that point of time, Cloud woke up. He semi-remembered Zack. He remembered that Zack was his friend, so he started like crawling over to Zack. He found him at the edge of the cliff, bleeding out, and then Cloud saw Zack. Zack saw Cloud. Was like, "Hey, I know I can't live for us, but I know I'm gonna die. So you have to take over what I've been done." So Zack told Cloud that, "Hey, can you take this sword? Be my legacy. The legacy that I have as soldier shouldn't end here. So you will continue the path of soldier for me lah." I was like, okay. But at that point of time, Cloud, he woke up, saw his friend die. One of the last words is, "You are my living legacy." And then because he kinda trauma, right? The post-traumatic stuff. He basically
took it on. He literally took on the mantle of his entire training.
Yeah, and because of how it's basically a traumatic event, right? His mind basically like hides it away, so he doesn't go into post-traumatic stress, and then breaks down. So his mind hides it away, but he remembers everything. So he just like, you know, when you like the stories of when people go through post-traumatic stress disorder, right? They just forget about certain things. So what Cloud's mind did is basically forget everything about what happened to Zack, because that's a very traumatic thing. And then he just took over his training. Then one of the few keywords, or one of the few key things he remembered was go to Midgar, become a mercenary. I am a soldier. No, I am an ex-soldier, because I escaped from their facility. So he doesn't remember everything. In the base story, right, every time someone asks Cloud about his time in Shinra, his time as soldier, right, every answer he gave was vague and events that he wasn't even there. But because he was retelling Zack's story lah, so there was no details. Okay, that's the whole part about Cloud being delusional. Now we go back to the ending of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So in the canon timeline, in the base original story, right, Zack died, Cloud went forward, base game story happened.
Yeah, so to speak.
It begins in this ending when Zack put Cloud aside. Zack, in one timeline, Zack put Cloud aside and then he went to face the Shinra army, right? He notices that all the whispers are around Midgar. It's like, shit, maybe there's a problem there. And then he realizes that the Shinra army is on his back. Okay, you know what? I'll deal with that first, and then I'll try and figure out how to get to Midgar. So, and then the same canon fight happens where Zack basically beats the army. But in this instance, he survived. He picked up Cloud and then starts moving towards Midgar. And then that's the part where FF7, the timeline where Zack lives, begin. Now the whole whispers, right, is basically they are fate changing entities, basically. Like how
that much you can glean off the idea that if they want to do what they did, a lot of people will actually be dead.
Yeah. So what the whispers are trying to do is to try and either speed up the calamity that Sephiroth is bringing, or make sure that the people that
to a confrontation.
Yeah, or make sure certain people are supposed to be alive at the end. Like, I mean, Barret got fucking stabbed. I was like, what? Barret died? And then like, no, the whisper revived him because he's supposed to be alive at the end. I was like, oh, okay.
And then when they survive a fucking explosion in the car that is meant to kill them, suddenly the whispers also surround them.
Like, I was like, no, it was like, fucking hell. That means the calamity, like, let's say, like in the original game, right, it took from Midgar to all the way to the canyon to Meteor.
It took most of the world.
To most of the world before they actually did that. But then in this one, right, they are speeding up the calamity coming. So it's very possible that in the next game, right, you start the game, calamity is happening already. Then you have to like save the world. I was like, fucking hell, that's so fast, ah.
Then, huh? Knights of the Round, Chocobo Racing and fuck shit. The Bane.
Not there lah. I mean, Yuffie, Vincent isn't even the party. Red 13. Anything about Deep Ground from Evan Children and Dirge of Cerberus. That kind of thing.
Not to mention her death, a defining fucking moment in the canon of the series.
Yeah.
She's supposed to die, but Cloud now has seen that event.
Okay, so every vision that they had, right, like seeing the Aerith holding a hand and then suddenly kind of stabbed by Sephiroth from the back, that kind of thing. That one is canon in a way that this happened in the timeline that the original timeline, the main canon timeline, the main game. Advent Children happened there, Dirge of Cerberus happened there. They all saw visions of it. The other visions that they see is they saw the vision of Sephiroth taking the power of the meteor and then becoming God lah, basically. So we know what Sephiroth is doing. He wants to do this. He wants to destroy the world. So they want to stop it as soon as they can. So they know what they know. Basically, they know the ending of the base game, and they want to stop Sephiroth a bit earlier because Sephiroth is trying to cause the calamity even faster than the original game lah. So
okay,
Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first episode, ends with Sephiroth being like, okay, you guys know my plan. I want to destroy the world. I'm gonna do it in the next episode. I was like, fucking hell. Okay, guys, idea. Let's go stop Sephiroth first. That's how they ended the episode 1 of the remake.
Now I'm very curious as to whether the death will actually happen now.
No, that's now because of the whispers being around, right, preventing death, seeing a timeline where Zack is alive, and bringing Cloud as a buddy, and then Zack passed by Aerith in that scene where oh my god, it's fucking annoying. The scene where Zack is dragging Cloud, right, and then that whole white background, and then they pass by Aerith. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. That's like in the beginning of the game, and then where Cloud, Aerith, and Barret, they're technically in the end of the game. So it's like now there's one part where who's it? Cloud and his party is trying to stop Sephiroth, and then there's a part of the timeline where Zack and Cloud are figuring out how to be mercenaries in Midgar.
So the remake is essentially not only a remake of the original game, it's now a remake of the entire timeline?
No, it's not. No. Okay, imagine there's 3 lines, top, middle, and bottom. The top line is the canon timeline, the one we played in the PS1 or emulators, all the way to Advent Children, all the way to Dirge of Cerberus, that kind of thing. The second timeline is the first episode of the remake, where we start as Cloud, blah blah happen, all the way to the end lah. And then, but the base story, right, like what happened to Cloud, what happened to Aerith, all is the same as the first line at the top. Means their backstory is all the same. The second line is instead for the second line, right, instead of ending in the end like how the first line did it, right, the ending of the first game now is in the middle of the second timeline. So basically compress the first line, that whole shit fuck happening, right, into the second line. Okay, it's happening much earlier. This is what happened. I was like, okay, fine. That means now the remake, right, we don't even know what's gonna happen. Now the third
like
timeline.
I said, it's an homage. It's a little bit of an homage, but it's also a retelling of a different.
It's a retelling of the same. It's the retelling of the same story. It's a what? It basically is they canonize a what if lah. You get what I'm saying?
Like they canonize a what if by creating it as a separate timeline.
Yeah. So like, what if Zack survived? Let me tell you, it exists right here. Maybe we'll tell the story, maybe we won't. But Cloud's story in the remake is basically the what if is the what if here, right, is what if Sephiroth got more power from This one is now I'm going in theory already. Like in the, let's say the first timeline, right, the canon one, when Sephiroth gained unlimited power and absorbed Meteor and the black materia, when he was defeated, he didn't actually die. He just went to, he could, like, I don't know, maybe he was transcendent enough to go to another timeline and like tell.
And this is him here. If that's the case, he hasn't used that black material yet.
No, the way I'm thinking about it, if that was the case, then there's bad storytelling already. My thinking is, my theory is that when he died in the original one, his essence tried to find a way where he could win. So he found the remake timeline. He communicated with his past self, and given that his past self was technically already crazy, it was easy for him to tell himself that, hey, all these things, we need to start this earlier so that we don't lose, and this is how we gain unlimited power faster. And then Sephiroth basically tried to start the events of Meteor earlier, and that's the whole point of the remake, where Cloud is being delusional, more so than usual, seeing Sephiroth more often. But then the thing that bothers me about that theory, it just makes Sephiroth even more powerful, to be honest. Which I'm very
weapons to deal with in the first game.
That's the thing. I'm very hyped for it. The problem is, I don't know if they can tell that story properly, because there are comics that tries to tell that story and they fall short and it becomes a disappointment. If FF7 remake episode 1, 2 or whatever, right, they can tell that kind of story properly, right, it's gonna be a very good way of storytelling. It's a lot of mindfuck. The reason people call it convoluted, right? Like I explained before, suddenly it's not just about saving the world, it's about saving like
the
these
multiverse.
The multiverse. Not just multiverse, just these world timelines. Timeline 1, timeline 2, timeline 3. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's the thing, I wouldn't be surprised, right, if for some reason the two timelines will meet. Like in a sense, like Fusion Sword Cloud from the first game meets Final Fantasy remake Cloud with his whatever sword, and then Zack meet everyone. I was like, hey guys, hey, you look like Cloud, but you look like Cloud too. Like, wait a minute, you're dead. No, I'm not, I'm here.
Like I said, I'm kind of curious what will happen.
Exactly, that's why I love it. There's so much.
I really want to know whether she's gonna die.
There's so much potential of who? Elmira.
No, Elmira, she ain't gonna die.
Aerith. Yeah.
I don't know whether that's gonna be.
I don't know.
Gonna keep that
I
as
don't know.
its standard event.
No,
or not.
I hope not, because
Because if they
Aerith
change that,
if they change that, it's perfect. Then it's a specific timeline you can think about already. Means in the main one, Aerith died, and then
but
like went into the life stream.
You have hope that she's gonna live.
And then in the second timeline, it's possible that she's alive. And then,
but then, what would end up being the main motivation for fighting Sephiroth? Because vengeance was one hell of a motivator for the entire team.
For the first timeline.
For the main timeline,
yes.
Vengeance was the main motivator. If she doesn't die,
the
what
thing
ends
was
up
like,
being the motivator?
In the first one, right, they were just trying to escape Midgar, and then Aerith got killed, and then they were going for vengeance, and then while they were going for vengeance, they discovered that Sephiroth is actually trying to destroy the world. So it's part vengeance, part save the world.
But this one is straight up save the world
but
first, vengeance might come later.
In remake, right, it's fuck the stakes. Okay, save the world first. But then it's a possibility that vengeance might come, but we don't know that. So now everyone's like, hope in the air, hope not in the air. So this is the second timeline. That's why when they canonize What If, right, in the third timeline where Zack is alive, is the one that I think confirm Aerith will survive. Because for one thing, Zack is a properly trained first class soldier, literally beat a battalion or two of army, including helicopters with artillery, survive and beat them. And then now he's like, you trying to kill my girl? Is that what you're trying to do?
He's like, you sure you want to do
You
this
sure
shit?
you wanna fight?
I'll fuck you
I
up,
beat
yes.
a battalion. I'm gonna fuck you up. I was like, okay. That's why in the timeline for a what if for Zack being alive, right? Zack is definitely gonna be overpowered. He's gonna be at the same level as Sephiroth before he got crazy.
And I hope that he's a party member.
That's fucking OP as fuck, but still, I really wanna see it. That's why when you like read some like fiction, some fan fiction online, right, where Zack is alive, Zack is OP as fuck because Zack is one of the strongest trained first class
Like he's one of the
soldiers.
he's the top 3, right?
Top 4.
Like,
And
yeah.
Conquer NGO. Okay. So for
It's like
hierarchy of
Sephiroth, Genesis, I don't know what's the fourth guy, and
NGO.
Gio.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in order,
and Gio's the one with the sword, right? The
Yeah,
one that
yeah.
he doesn't want to use the blade.
yeah, that's one. That Zack picked up that same habit because he took the sword from NGO. I was like,
Then that's the thing I have to ask as well, though.
what?
Why does Cloud not have that habit?
No, because every time every time Cloud saw Zack fight, he was fighting for his life. So he couldn't tell him about that, what? So he just used the sword, lor. And somehow Zack at that point of time, he's weakened, he's tired, he has no choice but to fight with his sword. Because other times he would just fight with his fist or use a disposable sword, what? So
Okay.
yeah, so the only reason Cloud uses the sword and not Zack is because Cloud didn't learn that habit. Okay, back to the thing. Hierarchy of strength of soldiers. During the war with Wutai, Sephiroth was the strongest, followed by Genesis and Angel. And these are the main 4 first class soldiers.
And this was before Hojo experimented
Yeah.
on Zack and Cloud.
Yeah, first class,
Like-
second class, third class. Zack at this point, Zack at the start of Crisis Core was a second class.
Yeah.
So when Zack was a second class soldier, he was mentored specifically by Angel.
That I remember.
It's like one-on-one training from a first class soldier and the third strongest soldier in the whole system. So when the whole fuck shit happened in Crisis Core, right? Genesis defected, Sephiroth still with Shinra, Angel goes crazy, that kind of thing. Zack became a first class, took up the mantle of. By default, he became the second strongest first class soldier in Shinra, because the first
Not
one
by
is
defeating the people, but because of
no.
circumstances.
Also he defeated Angel, he defeated Genesis, confirm. That is a fact. So he became the strongest because he defeated the two other strongest soldiers. He defeated Angel, he defeated Genesis. By default, he's the second strongest soldier because first one is always Sephiroth. And at the point in time, Sephiroth was still okay. So after he defeated
Normal
both, so when at that point after he defeated those two, right, he was basically how he was when people do power scaling, at that point of time after he defeated Angel and Genesis, right, he was the same power level as Sephiroth
before he went nuts, so.
before he went nuts. And this was the, like, in Crisis Core, the first time you saw Sephiroth in Crisis Core, right, was when Sephiroth basically one-shotted Ifrit. He's like, Ifrit, you're here, I'll slash you with my sword, you're dead now. I was like, wow, that's cool and instant. So at that point in time, Zack is on the same level of Sephiroth. He could just one-shot summon just like that. I was like, oh, that's very strong. So at that level of power that Zack is, right, now rested in Midgar with Aerith. Aerith is definitely gonna heal him. Like, let me heal you properly. A fully rested Zack with Cloud, who has some of his skills, even if it's watered down a bit, is overpowered as fuck. I was like, it's definitely not gonna let the Turks take Aerith. Definitely not gonna let Shinra take Aerith, because your army did shit. You think you can do better? You either send your best soldier or you can't do anything. And then
your best soldier no longer exists.
your
that
best
can
soldier
kill
no
you.
longer exists. Because at that point of time, even if you go back to the original game, every soldier that Avalanche fought, right, was second class or lower. Or lower or third class. They've never fought any first class soldiers because even by the even by the Turks' own admittance, right, there are a handful of first class soldiers, and it's a literal handful. It's Sephiroth, Genesis, Cloud, Zack, and Jill. 4 people. There's only four. 1, 2, 3. There's only 4 first class soldiers. It's literally a handful. 2 of them are dead. One of them went crazy. One of them is still alive. And then there's Cloud, who's like, he has the same stats but doesn't have the skills. I was like, and then now you want to take Aerith. I'm like, oh, good luck, man. And then they have that biker dude. What's his name? Rosso? Roche.
And okay, in your scenario where he's alive.
Yeah.
Where is he?
What do you mean?
Like he's alive. He's getting healed by Aerith, but where?
No. I'm saying that's the theory lah. Because
so what if scenario?
So what if, okay, the third timeline where Zack survived and is heading to Midgard, right? Let's say he does the same things that Cloud did. Become a mercenary, find a place to stay, kind of thing. At that point of time, Cloud would have woken up. I was like, hey, I have a friend who's staying here. Her name is Tifa. Can we stay there? Zack is like, okay, let's go stay there. And then now Cloud and Zack are stationed with Avalanche, even if they don't know it. Then Zack tells Adam, hey, I have a friend that stays here. I need to see her. I haven't seen her in 5 years. I need to see her. They're like, okay, where? Because at that point in time, they know Zack knows where the church is, right? Because that's where he found her at the first place. So Zack tells Cloud, hey, I'll be back. I need to see someone. Then Zack naturally goes to the church, stays there, and tries to find Aerith, and then he just waits. And then they find. In my head, I'm thinking Zack and Aerith have a very wholesome meeting. And then Aerith finds out, you're still injured. Yeah, let me heal you. Now you have a fully rested Zack. And then you continue the story of the whole Avalanche story.
So this whole story that you're saying might be the remake story?
It might happen, even if they don't show it, because I'm going by their personality. Like what is the most likely thing would happen is Cloud definitely knows Tifa. I mean, you start the game on the train. I was like, hey, you're helping us because of Tifa, right? I was like, yeah. So if that happens, right? So Zack goes to Aerith. Cloud is like a bit messed up. Tifa asks, hey, you're a soldier, right? Can you help us out? I was like, I'm a mercenary. You pay up, you give me the money, I'll do the job for you. I was like, and then cue Cloud on the train helping Avalanche bomb the Mako reactor. And then Zack's like, hey guys, I'm back, what happened? Did you see the thing? Yeah, we did that. I was like, God damn it, Cloud. You're supposed to recover, you blew up a Mako reactor. Like, okay, never mind, I can fix this. What are you paying? Then Barrett talks to Zack. I'm actually interested how Zack would interact with Barrett, to be honest. Because Cloud is like the silent it's like the silent brooding hero kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
like I said, Bitsuri,
but then Zack is so like upbeat. He's very friendly.
Comparatively to Barrett, those two will get along well.
It's very likely they will get along well. So I was like, I want to see that happen.
And then, wait, that opens up another opportunity where even if Aerith also is alive, Aerith will constantly go towards Zack and Cloud will still stick with Tifa all the way through.
Yeah, that's I mean, here's what I think. The whole point of the first game, right? If if Aerith didn't die, then Cloud has an option choosing between Tifa or choosing Aerith. Either or lah. But then Aerith died, so he chose Tifa anyway. I was like, okay lor. Like,
but now in this scenario,
if it happens, the way I'm thinking about it, just based on their personalities,
he has to choose either way. Like he has to choose now. He's not choosing by default and not losing a memory of a girl that he might have been interested in. He has to choose.
Yeah. In the scenario where Zack is alive, Zack is definitely gonna be with Aerith. No questions about it.
No question.
Then Tifa, I mean we've played the game. Tifa has been on Cloud the whole time. The whole time. So they will definitely like pair up if Zack and Aerith pair up again. So there are no issues. Just I want to see. Yeah, the thing about it, right, is that for the, let's say, episode 2, they are telling the story of Cloud, Barret, Tifa, and Aerith about stopping Sephiroth. So now it's saving the world and then maybe got vengeance. Whether that happens or not is another thing. Now we don't know whether they have enough time, or they're gonna put a section of the game, right, where they are focusing on Zack and Cloud's story entering Midgar. Basically the scenario that we were talking about.
I wanna know where Zack is.
I wanna know what Zack does also. So imagine like the first half of the game, right? The first half of the episode 2, right, is okay, we're gonna stop Sephiroth. And then they start doing, then they do all the things to stop Sephiroth.
And
like
then you have an intermission of how Cloud and Zack are around.
And then here's now I'm thinking about this. Like let's say the first half of the game is Cloud and his party moving towards the location where the place where to stop Sephiroth, where he's trying to get the black material, trying to cause Meteor absorb power and become a supreme overlord of the world, kind of thing. So during that journey, they meet maybe they meet Yuffie, they meet Vincent, they go to Wutai with all the people there. They make allies, they learn about the things, they get allies, then they start, okay guys, we need to stop Sephiroth, so let's go there now. And then as they were making the journey towards the location to fight Sephiroth, suddenly there's a bright light and a portal appears, and then suddenly another group of Cloud, Tifa, Barret, and Aerith, Vincent, Yuffie, and Zack comes out. I was like, what are you guys doing here? I was like, wait, you're dead. Why are there 2 Clouds? And then Barret, like, imagine them talking to him. It's like, what's happening? What the fuck? And then
no,
cut. And then
you
cut.
remember this game has swears now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. And then it's like,
so Barret just go like, what the fuck is this?
Who is like imagine both Barrets point at each other like, who the fuck are you? And then cut white screen, and then they put in another timeline, or like many months ago, and then the second half of the game is the beginning of Zack and Cloud entering Midgar. The second half of the game, the second half of it is telling the story of Cloud, Zack and Cloud entering Midgar and doing everything. I was like, and then it's the same thing. Maybe the calamity started even faster than before. And then Zack is like, what the fuck is happening? Okay, we need to stop Sephiroth as soon as we can. The thing here, right, is that in Crisis Core, Zack knows Yuffie. I mean, it was a kid that tried to bully him, but Zack knows Yuffie. Zack also knows Vincent. So getting them as allies is actually, hey, I know you.
A lot easier.
You know, it's like Zack can go up to them. Hey, I know you. You tried to bully me from material. Like, yeah. Hey, I need some help. You want to help me out? Like, okay. Yuffie is as a party member. Goes to the Turks and like sees Vincent inside that coffin. Right. Hey, I know you. You're from the Turks. Like, yeah. Hey, we want to stop this person trying to spread. We want to help us. Like, okay. Vincent is now added to your party member. And then they started going towards the location to fight Sephiroth. And then they go through a portal, like how in the episode 1 they go through a portal, right? Instead of fighting that 3 tentacle monster, they go inside and then they appear in a location like, where are we? And then they turn to the left. They see another group of Cloud, Barret, Aerith, like, who the fuck are you? And then the 2 parties move together. Imagine 2 Aerith, 2 Barrets talking to each other. It's like
I think that's a bit too out there for Square Enix.
It's too out there, but they've done Kingdom Hearts. Here's the thing, they've done Kingdom Hearts. It is possible. It is possible.
Maybe not that simple. Like, I think they could do that shit in Dissidia if they made another one.
I mean, very possible. I mean, imagine they did the portal thing, and then They get to the last.
They get transported to like fucking Dissidia universe.
They keep going to, or at least alternate timelines keep having access to their world. I was like, okay, so we're in a. So this is Zack's group. This is Cloud's group. Okay, so the plan is we find Sephiroth, we beat him, we go back to our respective timelines and live out our lives. Like, okay. And then another portal appears, and then like it's Cloud with a fusion sword from Evan Children. I was like, who the fuck is this guy now?
I really want to hope that fucking fusion blade actually makes it into the game.
That's the thing.
I know that's a
it's
like
a stretch.
it's
a stretch.
It's a very big stretch, but at the same time, I kind of want to see
it's
it.
A very cool weapon. I also want to see it.
I don't deny that it's a cool weapon. Hell, I thought it was a motherfucking cool weapon from Evan Children already. Now I want to see him fully kitted out there.
Yeah.
Like fusion sword, materia, motorcycle, every fuck shit.
That's why I said if they want to do DLCs, they can do that.
It's like, and then he just comes in and just says, "Yo, I heard Sephiroth's back. Who the hell do I need to kill?"
I was like, "Hey, that's me. Hey, wait, that's also me. Hey, wait, you're dead. Cloud, come on, man." I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, man." Hey, that's me. That's also me. I was like,
"Wait,
hey,
wait, you dead? Ain't you dead, girl?"
I was like, "Wait, Aerith, you're dead. Stop telling everyone I'm dead." Now, that's my like ultimate scenario of what if could happen. Like, I hope that in my own head, that's like the perfect thing that they could done, but they have to do it correctly.
But at the same time, we have to be very well aware that it might not actually happen.
You have to be like cautiously optimistic. Like you have
it's a remake. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
There's a lot of expectation for that kind of storytelling, but then it could happen. Even if it doesn't happen the way it does, then it's fine. It's still.
All I'm hoping for is.
Even without that, it's still an interesting story.
All I'm hoping for is maybe Zack showing up just to save Aerith's fucking life.
Yeah, I want to see that also.
It's like that's the one thing I'm hoping for, because if you show if they do that and all of them show up, Zack is still alive, delivering Cloud to Midgar. The "you are my living legacy" part, and he doesn't die at that moment, he's just passed out.
It's a lot to process. Actually, if you watch back I think you can find on YouTube, the scene where after Zack fought the army, and then like "you are my living legacy," and then Zack is like shouting to the heavens, "No!" And then the first game starts, and then that's the post-traumatic theory comes to mind. Like he just can't remember because his mind just trying to protect itself. If Zack was alive, right, he will definitely fight Sephiroth tooth and nail. More so because he's like so strong.
It will tip the scales.
It will tip the scales. Okay, just this is a what if scenario. Let's say Zack followed the party where Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge they wanted to go to that building, and
okay,
then
isn't that kind of highly likely though?
No, that's a what if. That's what.
No, that's not fucking highly likely thing though, because that's the only way they survive.
Yeah. Okay, no, I mean, okay. Imagine
Wedge going down there was fine, but Biggs, he was supposed to die there.
Okay, imagine a scenario where when Jesse went to get the bombs for the avalanche, right? Zack followed them. I was like, "I'll help you out," and then they get confronted by Roche. Roche? How do you pronounce that guy's name? Roche. They get found by Roche. He is a third class soldier. Wait, let me double check. He's either third. He's a third class, right? He's a third class soldier, and then Zack is like, "You're third? I'm first, bitch." I was like, fuck. He's gonna get fucking wrecked. You can't. Your cool turns with your motorcycle. Okay, I cut your motorcycle in half. I'm like, now what? Okay, lo. Cannot do it. Cannot do it.
He just literally looks at his bike like.
Yeah, because just by Kari's score alone, right? Based on how they tell the story, if Zack was the same power level as Sephiroth. Remember the cool cinematic where Sephiroth was fighting Genesis and Jill at that giant cannon thing, right? Sephiroth basically just cut the cannon in half and just kept moving forward.
Triple barrel, by the way.
Yeah. He cut a few times, and then like Zack is the same power level as that guy. He's gonna cut that stupid motorcycle in half into pieces. Rosh is like, okay, one fight, go fight, let's go. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. That's a what if lah. If Zack is just, I'm not even like trying to be like a fanboy, but just based on his comparison to his power level, right, he's just that strong.
Here's the thing. For me, the only way that any of those three can survive.
Who?
Wedge, Biggs, and Jesse.
Yeah.
The only way those three can survive is by outside intervention.
Yeah, which is the whole point of the Whispers. So in this timeline, right, in this scenario,
I don't think it's only the Whispers. I want it to be Zack too.
Yeah. Actually, I think about it, yeah, if it was Zack who was helping them, right, who still has his memories, his training, including the part that Zack also took part in the war with Wu Tai, so he knows like proper war tactics. So if like a seasoned general that Zack is helping like a rebel group trying to bomb a place, right, he will definitely have the experience on how to do it. And then like,
to do it
it's like,
easier.
Hey Jesse, relax. You didn't destroy Sector 7. Huh?
You didn't destroy Sector.
I was like, it's like, isn't that because it's my bomb? No. Even if I've seen the amount of charge you put. Even if it was a Mako reaction, that's not possible. There's some play here. Shinra did it. Okay. Now Shinra probably sabotaged themselves. Like, oh fuck. Okay, well. And then like, okay, now Jesse, relax. You're fine. Everything is good. Biggs and Wedge are like, okay, want to go this place. Okay, guys, listen to me. I know what to do. I think the only reason they don't put Zack in, or at least the possibility of the story, is that Zack is just too experienced. That he can fix a lot of the mistakes that Cloud's group did in the game. Like, oh, we are a rebel terrorist group. Now let me give you the experience of a general to help you with that. You don't make mistakes. You know how to sneak around. You know how to do skirmishes, kind of thing. I was like, okay, that's kind of strong. Because the reason I think they don't do it right is because it will not make an interesting story. It's more like a Gary. You know what's a Mary Sue character, right?
A what?
A Mary Sue character or a Gary Sue character. It's basically just like in some anime or some cartoon, right? It's just a character gaining a lot of power and they can solve a situation. They can solve a problem immediately when they find out about it. Basically, there's no tension lah. There's a story is interesting because that you can feel like there are stakes to fight for. But then if there's a character who can solve every situation instantly, it kind of gets to be a boring story lah. Even though it's
still be a fun one.
Even though it's gonna be fun, it will definitely be fun. Like fan service for the people who actually know his character lah. But then it wouldn't be an interesting.
To people that aren't aware of the entire story beforehand.
Yeah. Like imagine, like let's say when you started playing Crisis Core, right, the PSP game, Zack was still learning to become a first class. He started as a second class. He was still training. He went through wars. He went through battle. You saw his progress. He was slowly getting better and better before he became a first class. And you saw him being a very experienced soldier. So confirm he can't make any mistakes, because any mistake, he's already like the top of the top tier of soldiers already. Confirm there's no mistake he can make, because he'll probably try to fix it earlier on because he's just that smart. But then if you put him into like the start of like FF7, right, I'm like, I was like, oh, all these rookie mistakes I will never make. Cloud will make because he actually doesn't. He hasn't experienced it, so he doesn't know how to do it. It's cool. It's like a very cool way to tell a story, but then there's also no tension Excuse me. I've talked about this a lot on Reddit about the what if.
Now I just gotta wait for the game.
Ah shit! I missed.
Wait, what?
What?
I just saw a very weird basketball game.
What? How weird?
Huh?
What?
Did they just own goal their own damn self?
Is it the women's basketball?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they did. I know exactly what you're talking about. The women's basketball, right? What the white and blue jerseys, right?
Yes. Like the blue one just own goal her own damn. Does that count?
I mean,
it counts, right?
It counts because it went into the goal, but even if it's in your own team, it counts for the other team.
I'm sorry, what? It's like I see the white girl trying to score, they're like,
oh, he's gonna score right there. And then the blue girl put, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. I was like, wait, what happened? And then you rewatch the second time, right? I was like, yeah, she did exactly what I thought she did. She's an idiot.
I can't stop watching it.
It's really funny. I think I saw it this morning.
Anyway, yeah, it's a nice conversation. Can't wait for the second game.
Be cautiously expect cautiously lah.
I mean.
But that level that I went right is the highest peak of fan service and awesomeness I could think of right now. If they can make it that way, even better. But if they don't, even the base, like just Cloud story is good enough. If they tell like Cloud story through like flashbacks or something, I don't mind also. Cause actually, yeah, I don't mind. So I don't mind even if they did that.
I'm just saying it'll be fun.
It'll be very fun.
I just really want to see Zack like come out and follow the team right after they escape. Right, then it's like, damn, like, hey, you guys made a mess.
It's like, hey guys, what happened here?
It's like, wouldn't even ask what happened here. You know, it's like, you guys made a mess. Do you need help?
I was like, hey Cloud, you're here. But I thought I left you at Seven Heavens. I was like,
I really want to see Zack just come out and come into the party.
I'm very curious how.
Like you start out, like if you start out at like level, let's say you finish the game a few times, then you go into the second game, they let you retain your level until 80. Then you imagine that this motherfucker just starts out at level 200.
I was like, hey guys, how you doing? I was like, you're very strong. Yeah.
It's like, what else is new? It's like he just takes strong to strong.
Yeah. I just remembered something about Zack that makes him even more stronger. When he was a second class, he cut a missile in half that was already shot afterwards. Remember that?
Yeah, so that means you have to literally be fast enough
He's fast
to not
enough?
only intercept to not only intercept the missile, but be fast enough for your blade to have a velocity to cut the fucker while it's still flying.
Yeah, not only that, right? Zack with his, remember the regular sword, the skinny one that Rosh uses, right? That's the standard blade. Zack,
that I noticed.
Zack used that sword and was able to block and cut bullets in half so it doesn't hit him. Basically like a Virgil Dante situation from Devil May Cry. They could block and cut bullets. Sephiroth could do the same, so that's no issue. And when the ending scene for Zack, right, when he fought the army, he did the same thing. He cut bullets away from him. He didn't like when in this game, right, when you are blocking with your Buster Sword. The sword's right in front of you, you just reduce damage kind of thing. You've never seen Cloud actually cut a bullet in half.
Not even when he's using like the freaking Sephiroth pose
yeah.
Like getting ready for shit. He doesn't do any of that shit. At least I don't think he's ready for it yet.
Not yet. Maybe it's possible, but he doesn't have the experience to cut it. I think Zack can do it because he's been through battles like, okay, the speed of a gun after it's shot can go this much. I can cut the thing right here. So like, okay, that's kind of cool. Imagine level 200 Zack.
Like you said, nigga has base stats of a first class.
But he doesn't have the experience to do it. Yet.
He doesn't even think that it's possible.
Yeah. I think when he does it right, oh my god, Cloud, that was so cool. Yeah, it's cool. And in his head like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. That's so cool. like a chibi version of him. Like a chibi version of him like just jumping around. Oh my god, I did it. That's so cool. Okay, face. Make sure you show a very cool face. Yeah, I totally meant to do that. So like
No, that's like perks of the soldier training.
Yeah, that's soldier training, man. I was like, huh. And then Zack is like, what you talking about? What you talking about, nigga? We never did that shit.
Just want Zack in the party, man. I wanna see the fucking difference between Zack and Cloud.
It's gonna be obvious. Okay, let's say we cut back from my scenario. Zack appears through a portal to the current Cloud's like party. I'm like, hey guys, I'm here to help. I'm like, I think Zack is gonna be a much higher level than everyone as a start. There you go. Like let's say episode 2, everyone is like level, yeah, you be right, everyone is like level 80, level 90. Okay, we're gonna fight Sephiroth, and then a portal appears. Zack joins the party. Hey guys, I'm here to help. And then you see like level like 180. What the fuck? You're so strong.
Oh, nice chat.
So it's a good talk. So it's something I like thinking about. It's like it's a what if scenario lah. Especially if you know the story, like okay, if Zack was this strong, he should be able to curb storm everybody.
Why is this one slapping the baby to clap? What the fuck?
What?
I share.
On your... Oh, okay. Oh no, why? Oh no! Oh no! What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh, that's horrible! The baby! Oh my god, why?
Your reaction was perfect.
It's a sincere reaction. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my god. I went from, oh, what could this be? Oh no! Oh my god.